Garbage collectors in the capital Sana'a in green uniforms, distinguished by their dark skin. They are the untouchables of Yemen. They are known as the Akhdam, an Arabic name for servants. They prefer to be called the marginalized ones, a caste languishing at Yemen's lowest social order. This is where they live, in slums on the edge of the city. This is where 6 families live together in the complete absence of basic living conditions. There's a growing sense among these people that there's nothing they can do to change the pervasive culture of prejudice and discrimination. Ali Mahdi shows the dark and poorly furnished room where he lives with his wife and children. In the rainy seasons, it floods, and during the horrid heat, life becomes impossible.
My message to the world is please help us. We are all sick because of the filth and dirt and the severe poverty. This is not a decent life. We are Muslims like all Yemenis. We deserve a better life than this.
Nu'man is an activist. He has been fighting for years to improve the rights of his own people. Inspired by the American civil rights leader Martin Luther King, he is urging skeptics to show patience in the fight against stigma.
The only way to eliminate the stereotypes is to take action. The Akhdam have to understand that it is they who have to fight for their rights. We are Yemenis. The Constitution gives us the right to own a house and to go to school. However, rights are never granted. One must fight for them.
Mujahid is a local leader. He says government promises to build houses for the Akhdam were but empty words. He worries more about the future of the children. Mistreated at school, they drop out at an early age, only to find themselves confined to scavenging or clearing away human waste to earn a living. A thorny path for a caste on the fringes of Yemeni society. Hashim Ahbara, Al Jazeera, Sana'a.
Hello and good afternoon. No, I am not hiding from you. It's just that I'm having a makeover. I've lost so much weight. If you were to see the beauty of my glory, you would pass out. For many months, many black men were calling me fatty, calling me chubby, and it motivated me to lose weight. And now I'm waiting to show you the beautiful and new and improved Jijat, journey into justice and truth. So I'm not hiding from you. However, before I go into my subject, I hope what you watched in this rather brief video will show you, if you like, snippets of the true face of Islam. However, I don't wish to stop there, because a lot of Muslims, what they are doing is they are trying to pretend there's a difference between culture and Islam. And this is what a lot of white liberals have brought into, that there is a difference between culture and Islam. Now, I'd like to beg differently. Before I go into my subject, I want to first of all say I love my white brothers. I love my black brothers. I love my white sisters. I love my black sisters. I do not delight, nor do I even entertain the idea of a race war. I believe in the survival of humanity. I believe the human race, with all its diversity, is very beautiful indeed. However, after reading one of my comments one of my videos, it provoked me, it stirred me into making this video, and that is many black militants, black thugs, or black Muslims are arguing if there was a race war between white people and black people. Notice, it's never a war between feminists and men or LGBT and the heterosexual world. The LGBT terrorist group are terrorizing white heterosexual community. White males are committing suicide because of the vicious forces of LGBT agenda and how they destroy the family identity and the family structure. But still, there's not a war against LGBT, but there is a war. Always talk about a war between black people and white people. Never Muslims. Muslims are the ones suicide bombing, you know, challenging people's and destabilizing people's civilization. But no one talks about a war between Western civilization and Islam. It's always black and white race war. I'm not sure if the Jews are behind it. I'm not sure. There's a lot of horrible things I've realized about the Zionism and the Zionist agenda, which I want to make quite a few videos on. I've been reading a book on the New World Order by Ralph Afferson or something. A very disturbing book. However, many Muslims are arguing, black Muslims, I must emphasize, black Muslims is the reason why I emphasize that. If there's a race war, the Mexicans and the Arab Muslims would go onto the black side. And despite we are aware of the racism that black people experience by Muslims, they still have this idea, this dream, this heaven, this pixie land, these panpipes, that somehow the Arab oil owning, you know, people are going to join forces with these black militants against white people, not realizing that, number one, rumors has it that Muhammad was a white man. Now, if Muhammad was a white man, then please don't take this the wrong way, but it might explain the psychological and cultural problem that Arabs, you know, Muslims have towards the African. You see, in the Sahih Bukhari, and I'm quoting from these Muslim sources because they are based on the life of Muhammad, and most of Muslim laws are taken from the Bukhari and the Hadith. In Sahih Bukhari 989-256, you should listen and obey your ruler, even if he was an Ethiopian slave whose head looks like a raisin. Now, many Muslims argue, well, you know, this is the Hadith, this is a Bukhari, we don't listen to it. I say, okay, then I'll give you that one. Forget that one. Okay? Let's not argue over split straws. Let's go to Quran 39:60. If you do have a Quran, please, whatever version you have, whether Abdullah Yusuf Ali version, whatever version you have of the Quran, please check these verses out. Quran 39:60, and you tell me, what does it mean, black Muslims? And on the day of resurrection, I'm sure we all know what resurrection means, when you come back from the dead with a ghoul or ghost or vampire, or, you know, if it's towards Jesus, you come alive. Okay, you shall see those who lied against Allah, for their faces shall be blackened. People can argue split hairs and says that, oh, well, it's symbolic. Blackened is symbolic. Really? blackened. When we start to look at the cultural prejudice and racial prejudice that Muhammad has, you begin to realize you have to move away from this idea that it was merely symbolical, especially when reading Ishtar 2:43. I heard the apostles say, whoever wants to see Satan, look at Nabtal. He was a black man with long flowing inflamed eyes and dark ruddy cheeks. Now, if you want to see Satan, right, this is the Ishtar 2:43 said these are the words coming from Muhammad. If you want to see Satan, look at Nabdal. If you want to see the devil, if you want to see Satan. So I'm not understanding what dialogue was happening or what he was trying to say, but he never made these references to any white person, only the African. And he continues, to those who know the prophet, there is a painful doom. It's 961. Gabriel came to Muhammad and said, if a black man come to you, his hair is more gross than a donkey. His hair is more gross than a donkey. Now, I can read you text after text after text and verses after verses to demonstrate that Muslims, Islam is not going to fight in your battle. If you're dreaming up this race war, Muslims will go on the white people's side. They wouldn't even go on the black people's side. So whoever giving you this idea, look, you argue that when you're a black Muslim, you are a Muslim. They see no color. This is the game they play. When you're a Muslim, you know, there's no white or no black. These slaves, they were Muslims. If you look at how Muslims treat black Muslims, Arab Muslims treat black Muslims. Did you know in Darfur, right, the Arab Muslims rape and enslave black women? Did you know that even though the Quran teaches you should not enslave another Muslim, did you know that term don't apply to black people? They don't mind converting you to Islam, they don't mind that, but it's like they don't value you. You have no value in Islam. They burn down your mosques. I remember this Muslim was telling my brother at the time when he was at university studying politics and media that there was a black Muslim imam, and they didn't believe that a black Muslim could be an imam, and they burned down their mosques. I'm sure if you look at similar stories on the internet, you will see where black imams' mosques are targeted by Arab Muslim. So much for a religion of peace. So much for in Islam we're all one. Like, I can show you many line text from the old quotes from the Quran, not from the Quran, from Muslims stating that Islam heals race peace. This is a rhetoric that Muslims use. Oh, Islam is for feminists. Islam, these I'm going to refute using the Quran. I'm not using any other sources, only Muslims' own sources. Nor will I take them out of context. If you notice, I said in these videos, please look at it and you tell me whether Islam is racist or not. I didn't give you my annotation or explanation or interpretation. I merely read the text to you and allowed your intelligence to look at it, the evidence for yourself. The idea that Islam or Muslims is going to join you in whatever fantasy you have is absurd. If you look at the way Muslims treat the black people in Pakistan, the way they treat them in Darfur, you begin to realize the only reason why that Arab Muslims use black people in the Western world for the simple reason you're nothing more than booty meat. You're nothing more than a suicide bomber. That's all you are, a suicide bomber. Your life has no value. Right? So you become a Muslim, grow a beard, look ugly, next minute you're bombing Buckingham Palace, you're bombing Paris, you're bombing Germany, you're bombing America. Why? For the simple reason the Arab Muslim don't value your life. They will save theirs. And many stupid black men are going out there joining Islam, thinking that this is my home, the black man's religion. Another video I'm going to make in this series. I'm really coming after Islam. I'm coming after Muslims. And please don't think I'm hiding. Don't think I'm hiding. As I told you, I've lost weight, so I'm sure you couldn't handle my beauty. So after all, Natal, I don't think so. You look at the male supermodel here. But on a serious note, and that is, many black people are strange doolally. They jump into bed with anything that has a Muslim name, a Muslim background, and a Muslim talk. Louis Farrakhan, who calls himself a Muslim, he's the biggest con man out. He's done more damage for the black community, taken a lot from the black community, and has not even created one job. Muslims care very little about black people, whether it's black Muslims or whether it's Arab Muslims. Whenever you have a Muslim name to it, you can guarantee it's going to be the curse for the black race. This idea that you can start a race war when white people are 273 million in America. 273 million. Most of black males are gay in America. So if you're going to come and fight, they come in a feather. They're going to fight you. Oh, gentle, don't hit my face, I'm too beautiful. Or they're in prison. Let's talk about it. Or they're in prison, or they're killing each other. 94% or 98% of crimes that are done against black men are done by black men. You begin to realize this nonsense. I'm not saying all black people, but these black thugs, these black militants, these unemployeds who are egging on this race war, listening to Jewish propaganda and Zionist agenda, cooking all this up. All this I'll give you evidence for. This channel is going to get hot. This channel is going to get steamy, real hot. Better watch yourself. You need some shades like me, right? It's going to get so hot and so bright. But you need to look at things from a different perspective. I begin to realize that why would a hidden force want you to go to war with white people, knowing full well you can't win it? I don't believe in violence. As a Christian, I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in killing anyone. All my friends are white purely because I live in a white area. So I have no interest in killing white people. But I do love my people. I love my black race. And I don't want to see you think that Muslims have your back. I could read you 500 to 1,000 verses from the Bukharis, the Hadiths, the Quran, even from Muhammad's own lips, how racist he was towards black people. The word Abd in Arabic means black. And do you know, and let me get the evidence for you, give me 2 seconds, right? Give me 2 seconds, but that's not here, it's going to be there, right? If you go to anywhere, right, in Arabia, that's it, I've got it here, right? Another hadith calls Muhammad thus, do not bring black into your pedigree. This is from Muhammad. Do not bring black into your pedigree. In fact, the Arabic word for slave, means abd, became equated with Africans and blacks with the advent of Islam. Osama bin Laden, in a discussion with the Sudanese-American novelist Kuala Bouf in Morocco in 1996, this is Osama bin Laden, said, when you meet an Arab, you should ask, what is the Arabic word for slave? When you meet an Arab, you ask, what is the Arabic word for slave? An Arab, no matter what it is, if it's an Arab, what is the word for slave? Why? When an Arab looks at a black African, what he sees is a slave. Muhammad owned and sold black slaves. Not Jesus. Muhammad owned and sold black slaves, and even built pulpit of his mosque, with African slave labor. And I could go on with this horror story. Whenever an Arab sees your black sausage, your black cock, your black woodpecker, your black chopper, he sees a slave. You're a slave. You're abd. Abd. You're a slave. And that's how the video I showed you in the clip, that's how they relate to you as a slave. So this idea of this beautiful holy matrimony, like man and wife, no, it's more like two gay marriage. It ain't man and wife, holy matrimony. It's more like two same-sex marriage made in hell. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. Muslims, Arabs are racist towards black people. If I could show you another clip, I will do that, just to knock the nail into something that ain't there. Thank you.
You can't handle the truth.